Now, if you ask anyone outside Nigeria why the country has performed poorly in the past 62 years since independence, they're likely to attribute it to corruption, ethnic rivalries, religious divisions, and poor leadership. But inside Nigeria, a movement has emerged that challenges those accepted reasons for underdevelopment. The movement is made up of Nigerians from all walks of life, including politicians who are calling for Nigeria to be restructured with less power at the center and more autonomy for the regions. Each region could then exploit its own natural resources, thrive on its own terms, and pay taxes to the central government. Not everyone, though, is keen on restructuring, with some believing that certain regions might be disadvantaged in a decentralized arrangement. But with the 2023 presidential election approaching, some see it as another opportunity to look at this issue critically and to hold the candidates to some sort of commitment to restructure Nigeria. Well, among those making that call is Ambassador Humphrey Orjiakor, Nigeria's former permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva and current member of the Strategy Committee of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum. He's written a book about restructuring, and he joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed, Ambassador, for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Just briefly tell us about your book.
Actually, in 2017, when I came back quite recent from Geneva, I thought it was important to inform the Nigerian community, the Nigerian people, that it is not all about the paucity of leadership. It's not all about corruption and all of that. In fact, there are many of us who we understand it and we believe it, that the structure of any society, any organization, even a business organization, has a direct impact on how the principals and the workers in that organization perform. So leadership is important, but a great leader could perform below par in a structure that is dysfunctional. And that is what we think is Nigeria's major problem, which is the reason, that was the rationale. I wrote the book to tell the Nigerian youth in particular, the Nigerian youth and their mothers. Some people laugh when I include their mothers, because it's the mothers who bear the brunt of young people not doing well. When a 25, 30-year-old son or daughter is still at home with his parents, that is a problem. So that book was strictly addressed to them. And I think I feel vindicated that the youth are beginning to pick up the gauntlets and say, yes, this is our country. Maybe we should look at it again.
And just for the people who may want to pick up that book, just remind us of the title.
Nigeria, the Forsaken Road to Nationhood and Development.
Sounds interesting.
Yes.
So what do you make of the candidates that have come out for this 2023 election? Because we haven't yet heard from them about how they intend to move Nigeria from consumption to production.
Indeed, we're hearing from the key ones, that's the ones that seem to have the general perception of being front runners. And all we have heard so far is on the side of the APC, we heard somebody say, it's my turn. We don't know what that means yet. Probably he will explain what that means when the campaign starts. We understand the campaigns haven't started. Maybe we'll start in September. If he cannot explain what it means to be, it is my turn. Whether Nigeria is some piece of merchandise that is sold between a particular class of people, that needs to be explained. Indeed, it deserves more explanation to the Nigerian people than all this talk about Muslim ticket and stuff. And the other gentleman has been sort of mum on what it is all about that drives him to come back so many times in the process of wanting to govern Nigeria. That too has to be explained to Nigerians. This mark of some element of desperation. But if there is something solid, tangible, behind the desperation that drives these gentlemen to want to continue governing and ruling Nigeria in the way it has always been done. We need to know that. Then the other gentleman from Kwakwanso, I think is his name.
Rabiu
Kwakwanso is
the presidential candidate of the NNPP.
Is at the moment doing something that we think is strictly sub-regional. We haven't seen him on the national scale. So maybe when he comes out, we'll begin to understand what message is portraying. The other guy, Mr. P2B, who is trending among youth and the social media and stuff, has said something about transforming the Nigerian economy from a consumption economy to a production economy. That's a very general statement, actually, so we haven't seen any meat to it. For us who belong to the South Middle Belt Forum, and in addition to that, I belong to another national group called Core Federalists. These are people from virtually every ethnic group of Nigeria, every level of strata of society, and we believe, all of us believe, that's what holds the Core Federalists together, that, by the way, Core Federalists was founded by late Yinka Odomaki.
Okay, yeah, that's a very well-known name.
That's right. So we strongly believe that leadership is important, so long as that leadership has the vision and mission. But he also has to understand that no matter how functional, no matter how brilliant a vision is, if you do not situate it in the context of a functional structural arrangement that enjoys the consensus, the buy-in of the various ethnic and different interest components of Nigeria, that is what we mean by restructuring. It is never going to be optimal leadership provision.
So it is your contention, is it, that even the best leader that Nigeria can bring up may make some difference, but it will not be enough to put Nigeria on a competitive footing globally until restructuring occurs?
In fact, I could go a little bit deeper than that, or put my neck out and say a great leader, somebody who would have been a potentially great leader, would do only as great as the structure of the society permits him to do. If we get a visionary, transformational leader, if he does not imbibe the idea that Nigeria needs to be reset, that people have to be given the freedoms, the liberties, you know, the leeway to do things for themselves in order for society to compete. And in competition, the various federating units begin to build a certain common synergy that grows the country and strengthens our union. These are the issues. If people are not empowered to do things for themselves, if we continue to spoon feed everyone, I heard the minister talking about NNPC giving way. NNPC has just been commercialized. It's not privatized.
Right.
It is my view that it wouldn't solve anything much until we embrace the idea that this thing has to be holistic.
Okay.
It needn't be done in one straight go, like on the day of creation, you say, let there be destruction in the walls. No.
Right.
It's a process, but it should be done.
Ambassador Humphrey Orjiakor, Nigeria's former permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva, I want to thank you very much indeed. Very interesting.